All right, so today I want to talk about how I deal with urgent and unexpected work. It's hard to plan out your day if you feel like there's always stuff showing up on your plate when you wake up in the morning that's in your email or your Slack that you weren't expecting to work on. So I'll show you a couple things that I do for that. So first, I have a task every morning for 15 minutes, which is my daily planning task. And while I'm doing this, I'm looking through my various inboxes. I'll check my email, I'll check my Slack, I'll check my GitHub, and I'll just see if there's anything I need to do to adjust my plan. So I give myself kind of 15 minutes to think through, like, okay, somebody emailed me this thing. This actually looks serious. Let me set aside an hour to work on that. So that's kind of the first layer, is actually just taking some time to triage out my day. So I do that every day. And then another thing I do is I just set aside a full hour, which is just a little bit more than I need each day to go through all of my different inboxes. So that way I don't feel like I'm trying to squeeze that in to the rest of my day. I just have time to do that. And I've already usually at this point pulled out like the really meaty things. So like if I got an email that was going to take 20 minutes just to get through whatever somebody said in that email, I'll usually pull that out into its own task in Sansama, which you can do by just dragging things in from the Gmail integration or Outlook integration. Okay, and then the third thing that I want to show you is I have this task here, engineering support. So on Monday and Tuesday, I'm the engineer on duty for responding to trickier customer reports that our support team isn't able to handle immediately. And I set aside 2 hours for this, and that's kind of the upper edge of how long this will take me. Oftentimes I can be done in 30 minutes or 45 minutes. But what I do is I just block off or I estimate 2 hours of time for this task each day that I do it. And if I finish early, some days I'll just call it quits and I'll have a lighter day, and that's nice. Or I typically have like a backlog of smaller things that I'd like to work on during that time, like small fixes and improvements, and I'll just kind of work on those until the 2 hours are up on a particularly easy day. And so basically what I've done and what I'm getting at is that I'll basically try to schedule for what I think the upper bound might be. Obviously, 2 hours is kind of like a reasonable thing to fit into your day. If the upper bound of something you're working on is like 12 hours, it's different. But between this kind of daily triage and then setting this upper bound, it allows me to have, I guess, a bit more space to not feel overwhelmed by things that are unpredictable. Oh, and the last thing I'll mention on this is that for our engineering support, that's actually something that we split up between the team. So everybody has a different day where they're doing it. I do 2 days of it. Some people only do 1 day. But that also gives me more confidence that on Wednesday and Thursday that there's going to be less unexpected work. And Wednesday and Thursday are typically my days where things just go according to my plan. And I'm not really like responsible for dealing with urgent things that come up, and there's somebody else to do that. And so basically splitting up who's sort of on call each day can help make sure that somebody on your team is covering the on-call stuff, and then you can actually focus on doing the things that were part of your plan. So anyway, that's a few things that I do to manage unexpected and hard to predict work.